Could I ask that everyone be seated, please? Thank you. Namaste, my name is Pallavi, and we've got a fantastic, exciting, and very informative evening planned ahead. I would ask the following members to be on stage. I think we are here except short of Maheshji, who will be joining us in a minute. I'll take you through a quick run of the housekeeping rules, please. Mobiles to be switched off at all times. The other option is to keep it on silent, but we prefer it switched off. In the event of an emergency, we will all assemble at the car park, which is in this direction, at the back. And we have this scheduled for till 7 o'clock. We will have a question and answer session also following. During this time, if there is anything you need, anything of urgency, please reach out to myself or one of the organizers. We'll just give it about a minute for Maheshji to join us and give us an introduction. Yes, and the toilets are at this end. Thank you.
Good evening. Dear brothers and sisters and respected Ram Madhav, on behalf of the session committee, I extend a warm welcome to all of you attending this meet and greet session with our chief guest, Dr. Ram Madhav. Dr. Ram Madhav has traveled from Bharat to meet all of us in our Bhumi, that is New Zealand. Friends, we have seen a phenomenal growth of our country in last 1 decade in the field of trade, business, space research, and military might. And we have established ourselves successfully in a stature of the world geopolitical area. It was only possible due to the close-knit cooperation of Government of Bharat on one hand, and other hand was a non-government organization like India Foundation. I have immense pleasure to welcome President of India Foundation, Dr. Ram Madhav ji, in Auckland. May I now request another welcome person, a well-respected person in our community, and a person who has already represented us in the Parliament, Mr. Mahesh Mundra ji, to come here and give a brief introduction of Dr. Ram Madhav. Thank you and kind regards.
Namaskar. I'll be very, very quick because we are already late, and my apologies for that. Thanks for coming over. Dr. Ram Madhav is a prominent Indian social leader, thinker, author, newspaper columnist, and politician. He is widely regarded for his strategic thinking, his political philosophy, and his contributions to India's foreign policy initiatives. Dr. Madhav has addressed influential global forums like the Valdai Discussion Club in Russia, R20 Forum in Indonesia, Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Halifax Security Forum in Canada, Sochi Euro-Asian Integration Forum in Russia, BRICS Political Forum in China, and the World Peace Conference in Thailand. Dr. Madhav has been the curator of major annual international multilateral initiatives like the Indian Ocean Conference, the ASEAN India Youth Summit, and the Counter-Terrorism Conference. He has over 300 publications to his credit, including the Hindutva Paradigm, integral humanism, and the quest for a non-Western worldview. Uneasy neighbors, India and China after 50 years of the war, and his most recent book, Partitioned Freedom, which explores the untold history of India's partition in 1947 and the birth of Pakistan. Previously, he served as the National General Secretary of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party from 2014 to 2020 and was responsible for handling the political affairs of Jammu and Kashmir, Assam and other northeastern states of India. Dr. Madhav is the president of the India Foundation, an independent New Delhi-based think tank that uses academic research, rigor and objectivity to address the challenges and opportunities of the Indian polity. Think tanks like the India Foundation often help to influence the long-term strategic national and foreign policies of the country. Dr. Madhav will be on a whistle-stop visit to New Zealand next week. Oh, this is obviously printed last week. So he will stop over after attending the 7th Indian Ocean Conference at Perth, Australia, organized by the India Foundation under the aegis of India's Ministry of External Affairs and Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. With the Indo-Pacific region becoming increasingly strategic geopolitically, the meeting with Dr. Madhav will provide an opportunity to discuss issues that affect this part of the world and India's leadership of the global south. Can I now very humbly request Dr. Ram Madhav, please come and address us. Thank you.
Thank you, Maheshi, Shri Rakeshi, Shri Hardikji, and all the other members of the diaspora present in this hall. My pranams to all of you. Thank you for joining in this meeting today evening. Actually, it's a working day, I know. Yet you could take time out to come and participate in this session today. I won't take much of your time. I just want to make a couple of comments and then maybe over interaction we can talk more. I am conscious of the fact that most of you are bodily here, your hearts are in Bharat. That's a good thing and not so good thing also. Because after all, Swadesho Bhavanatayam is our ancient Bharat principle. Wherever you are, that should be your Swadesh, your own country. As those who are the citizens of this country, for you, obviously this country comes first and this country should come first. But naturally, Bharat being our motherland, we should never forget that emotional link with our country and obviously the culture, the history, the civilization of our great country. I just want to say only one thing, that sitting at a distance, please be assured that Bharat is in safe hands. You don't have to really worry too much about what is happening or what will happen. Country is in safe hands. Just understand the priorities correctly, because these days most of us are very much influenced by a new university called the WhatsApp University. Better to spend less time on that. We have today had this joy of building our Ram temple. I also know that you had a big celebration here, and I must congratulate all of you. for the kind of enthusiasm that has been witnessed on that day here, but also the way you have been able to bring the local leadership also to witness that celebration, participate in it, and also ultimately say Jai Shri Ram probably. I congratulate you for that. But remember, when Ram returned to Ayodhya in Ramayana, people celebrated it as Diwali. We also celebrated it as Diwali when Ram Lalla was installed in Ayodhya. But also the fact is, when Ram came back, he did not continue to talk about his 14 years of vanvas. He did not start giving lectures about how bad Ravan was, what a treacherous thing he did, and all that. Instead, he talked about building Ramaraj. In victory, our heart should be large-hearted. When we have the mandir there, as a result of this, the struggle, the battles, the confrontation, the efforts of hundreds of years, thousands of people, that included sacrifices. Once the temple is established, our vision should be forward looking. Not again going back into that history. It was a tragic history. A history of communalism, a history of iconoclasm. But today, the country wants to look forward. Having built Ram Mandir, the next goal is to build Ramaraj. What Prime Minister calls as Vikasit Bharat, Prime Minister of Bharat calls as Vikasit Bharat, is what probably Bhagwan Ram called as Ramaraj. That Vikasit Bharat is what the whole country, whole Bharat, every region of Bharat is striving for today. At least that is the kind of motivation that the leadership of Bharat sought to infuse in the minds and hearts of our people through even this Ram Mandir, but through many other activities over the last almost 10 years now. Then look forward. Build a Vikasit Bharat. Vikasit Bharat means a Bharat which will be united, which will be prosperous, which will be strong, and which will be respected. That is the Vikasit Bharat we want to create. Not just a country whose GDP will be number one. You know which is the most prosperous country in the world in terms of per capita? A country called Monaco. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
A very tiny country, but has the world's highest per capita GDP. Third most prosperous people living in any country live in Liechtenstein. We don't want India to become like a Monaco or Liechtenstein. Because in our effort, because Bharat doesn't just mean a country that has the highest GDP. Having said it, let me assure you that India, Bharat is going to become, it's already the fifth largest country in terms of its GDP. It's going to become the third largest in next 3 to 4 years. It's going to happen because Bharat has taken off. Its economy has taken off. It will reach there. But we are not striving only for those numbers. What we want is a Sangatit Bharat, a country that will be united. The Ram Mandir is a symbol of that unity because Ram always represented unity. The greatest unifier is Ram. 1.4 billion people of our country should remain as one nation, one people. That will be the effort and that should be our approach. Of course, we have to build a prosperous Bharat. But in building prosperous Bharat, it's not about GDP. It's about grassroots happiness. How much the man on the street is able to lead a dignified life. See, the effort will be in that direction. If you see the programs of our government in Bharat, they are all aimed at creating prosperity at the grassroots. Even if we reach 5 trillion, it's not through the efforts of one Adani or one Ambani, because if they gain more money, automatically our GDP will go up. We wish them well. They have to become leading, economic powers in the world. But we also want to create grassroots prosperity. That kind of Bharat, where the last man will be leading a life of dignity. Thirdly, we are on the march to building a strong Bharat. Suraksha. When I say strong Bharat, obviously the first thing that comes to your mind is China and Pakistan. That's about external security. And I tell you, we tell this to people in our country also, rest assured, it's in the safe hands. India's borders are safe. There was a time when we used to be afraid of, terrorists coming from Pakistan. We were afraid of Pakistan, we were afraid of China and all that. Today, they are afraid of us. Last week, a very respected journalist in Pakistan, he gave I heard him speak in a TV interview. He said, Pakistan must be careful, Modi ji kuch bhi karenge. I'm not saying Modi ji is going to do anything. We are not a irresponsible nation like Pakistan. But there is a sense of fear, which we used to feel 20 years ago. That koi aayega, kuch karega. But today, those people are afraid. But remember, when I talk about security, I'm not just talking about external security of our border. I'm talking about the sense of every citizen of our country to feel secure. Nobody should feel discriminated against. Nobody should feel oppressed. Nobody should feel helpless. Do you know, when Gandhiji talked about Ram Madhav, when Gandhiji was asked what kind of Bharat we want to see after independence, Gandhiji's instant reply was, I want Ram Madhav. But then Gandhiji qualifies it. He says, when I say Ram Madhav, I am not saying India should become a theocratic state. By Ram Madhav, what I mean is, the weakest shall have as much power as the strongest. Everybody should feel secure. Women should feel secure. Scheduled caste should feel secure. Scheduled tribe should feel secure. People of different religions should feel secure. Whom we divided as minority, they should feel secure. Everybody should feel secure. That is the security. That kind of security we want to provide to every citizen of our country. Finally, country's dignity. Bharat should be respected globally. When I say Bharat should be respected, it's not just about country. Every Bharatiya should feel that respect. You people sitting thousands of miles away from Bharat should feel that you have respect here because you are from Bharat. Pushpan Singh, once, this was when he was editing Illustrated Weekly, I'm talking about 90s, he wrote a very interesting anecdote. One couple came from Chicago, America. They bumped into each other in a restaurant. Pushpan Singh was sitting in a restaurant, they were sitting on the next table. They asked Pushpan Singh, who are you? Pushpan Singh said, I'm a Sikh. Oh, so you are a Sheikh, they said. He said, no, I'm not a Sheikh, I'm a Sikh. So it took some time for them to understand that there is a religion called Sikhism in India, and he is a Sikh. Then he explained, I'm from Punjab and all that. Then he asked them, how come you came here? They said, we came because we have a program, we have a lecture in university, some university in Punjab. So he asked, where are you coming from? They said, we are coming from Chicago. He asked, what do you do? They said, we run dry cleaners, laundry we run. Kushal Singh makes two comments. He says, no surprise that a dry cleaner in America would probably know about, would not know about Sikhism, there is no surprise about it. He is a dhobi in America. But he makes the next point. See, this guy comes and gives a lecture in a university. The reason is he belongs to America. When America becomes great, a dhobi in America is also respected. Because he is an American for us. That he is running a laundry shop in Chicago doesn't matter. So we need to create that kind of a Bharat because of which every Bharatiya, whatever he does anywhere in the world, is respected. So such a dignified Bharat we want to create. We are embarking on that kind of an exercise. Next 20 years will be for that. Government will do its best. Its efforts government will do. And you may ask, how can you guarantee things will change? I can rest assured, आगे 5-10 साल में कोई बदलने वाला नहीं है। तो हम भारत में on a lighter note we say it's not going to change for next 5 years because of 3 people: Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, Rahul Gandhi ji. Change होना चलेगा, तो country will progress. So the effort will be to build that kind of a Bharat where everybody, as I said, these 4 ways the thing will happen. Having said it, I just want to only add one thing because you are people of diaspora. You should have that kind of great vision for Bharat. You also should share it. But as people of diaspora, you have to focus on where you are here in this country. How we can play a proactive role in the life of this nation in order for these things to be achieved by Bharat also. How we become active in public life here. Just to Mahesh again, that's Noakari, he was a member of parliament, serving member of parliament. He served as member of parliament for one term. Today also there are a couple of our Indian community members in the parliament. So becoming active in public life, becoming active in social life here, and creating that goodwill that I mentioned about Bharat in the society, in New Zealand society, but also in the system here, in the administration here. That is what is expected of our community. I would like to remind you, unfortunately, there was no occasion for, until now, in the last 8-10 years, for Honorable Prime Minister of Bharat to come to New Zealand so far. But wherever he went, we had huge diaspora reception events happening. I used to handle them in the first 3 years. We hosted one in Sydney, Opera House. I'm talking about 2015, not the 2023 one. So, why we did that was that we wanted our diaspora, wherever it is, first of all to get united. When I say Bharat, 1.4 billion Bharatiyas should be united, it also means those who are living in different parts of the world should become united. We know the reality. We are that Hindu united family, typical nature, we are always divided. If we are 4 people, we have 5 organizations. Because 4 of them will have one organization together, but each one has his own dukhan. No harm. I'm absolutely not saying that you should wind up everything and start one organization. I'm not saying that. But within that diversity, how do you find unity? Community is unity. Diaspora unity is one important thing that we have to achieve. Secondly, community through unity should be be able to play a proactive role in the public life of the host country, wherever. In New Zealand, Indian community, the Bharatiya community should be recognized as an important community. Not just a simple vote bank for in some constituency. No. In the country's national life, you have to become important. Third and most important, by doing these two things, that emotional connect with our culture, our religion, and our country should be transmitted from generation to generation. The last appeal that I want to make before I close is probably most of you are still first generation. There is not a big second and third generation diaspora here, but in countries like USA, in Europe, there are second and third generation also. There the disconnect will begin, remember. So, emotional connect with our motherland. How do you sustain it? How do you transmit it to your children, your grandchildren? How do you keep them connected with the Bharatiya reality? You feel proud that a magnificent Ram temple came up in Ayodhya. Do your children feel the same way? Do your grandchildren who were born and brought up here also have the same feeling? Or they think that it's not something that I should bother about, it's something about some other country? That transmitting this emotional connect is important. We have to find ways of doing it. I see most of you here are seniors, we need youngsters. They come, they understand, they connect with Bharat's reality. So that is also important. In these three areas of diaspora, you also should work. I started by saying that Bharat is in safe hands. I end once again by saying that don't worry too much about Bharat. Worry about what you can do here. Rest can be taken care of. Thank you for organizing this get together. Namaskar.
Namaskar again. Dr. Ram Madhav is very, fortunately has agreed to take a few questions. But can I request that we please keep those questions as questions and not statements. Keep them short, keep them sharp, and taking the time into consideration, please keep them very, very short. Thank you. The first question.